NBA Finals on NBC.
Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago. Well, down through the years and in NBA history, there have been a host of sensational, dynamic duos, Jerry Weston and Elgin Baylor. How about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson? They combined for a championship in Milwaukee, and a couple of pretty good duos in this series, Jordan and Pippen, Malone and Stockton. Well, tonight, a look at the four future Hall of Famers. Michael Jordan starting off in low-key fashion, 2 of 5 from the field in the first half. See Scottie Pippen, 2 of 5 for 8 points. Karl Malone only 4 points, and John Stockton with 4. And a foul is called. Foul on Russell. Let's check it with Jim Gray. Jim?
Thank you, Marv. Just following up on Bill's story, when Jerry Sloan walked out of practice this morning, spoke to Karl Malone. He said he guaranteed me that he and his teammates would not be making any token appearances tonight. They fully expect to win. Said he was glad that he walked out because he didn't need anything said to him. He said, if you're not ready for this game, you better get into another business. But there is one thing that's interesting to point out, Marv. The Utah Jazz have only won 17 road playoff games in the past 14 years. Compare that to Houston in 1995. They won 9 in that playoff series. Marv?
All right, thanks, Jim. Well, numbers are always intriguing until those streaks are stopped. I don't know if you can put those numbers on this Utah team.
And what happened last year, 5 years, 10 years ago, has absolutely nothing to do with the Brian Russells, the Greg Fosters, the Howard Isleys of the Utah Jazz. Means nothing.
Brandon Anderson not able to hit. Jim should not take this personally.
But the numbers for Karl Malone are not encouraging. A 1-for-4 start. When you have a disappointing game, maybe the biggest game of your life, Game 5 in Utah, the whole scene set for you to dominate, and it doesn't happen. You got to come out the next night and throw it down. Game 5, first half, Karl Malone. Very good. 13 points, 3 rebounds. Second half, just 6 shot attempts. Only one of them made, and that was a layup.
Brandon Anderson made his return in Game 5. He missed the 2 previous, remaining with his family in Atlanta following the death of his father. Played just briefly in Game 5. Very slow, looking to get him back into the rotation. He's been a very important player for the Jazz. Antoine Carr picked up the foul. That's his first. Judd Bushler has checked in for the first time, as has Chris Mars. Now, Chris Mars really hurt the Bulls in Salt Lake City in Game 5. 3 3-pointers by Mars. Jordan posting up on Anderson.
Finally, a Utah Jazz defender didn't go for a head fake on Michael.
But a very slow start by the Bulls. They are trailing 25-18. Anderson had the step but could not convert. Remember, in the first half, in game number 5, the Bulls were down by as many as 16 points. Good coach.
And that's when Michael Jordan got it going, scoring 17 points in that that second quarter.
But the Jazz have done a good job of taking the crowd out. This is the strongest crowd we've seen in the finals here at home for Chicago. Now they're sitting down.
And a holding foul on Steve Kerr.
Well, the normal procedure for the Bulls is to try to force that pick and roll down, try to force John Stockton to the baseline. However, when Steve Kerr is guarding Stockton, he mixes it up. It's got to be very tough for your weak side defenders.
Air ball fielded by Jordan. Minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. The Bulls in the midst of a drought. They have missed their last 6 shots. They're trailing by 7. Luke Longley trying to get it to Michael Jordan. Backcourt violation. Jordan had to make the play to prevent the fast break. And Anderson picked it up.
Well, the collapsing defense of Utah has been terrific. Phil Jackson, normally so calm, so poised in these situations. Game 5 Friday night, he was up the whole game, yelling, screaming, directing the team.
All right, here's a 3-point attempt by Mars. The Bulls only 6 of 21 shooting, 29% in this first half, and they've turned it over 5 times.
Stockton's so tough, bumping guys out of their cuts.
Oh, Longley had nowhere to go. comes Anderson, putting moves on Kerr, and he drew the foul. So Shandon Anderson is headed back to the line. Timeout called by Chicago. Approaching 9 p.m. here in the Chicago area. Beautiful 77-degree night. And these aerial views of the Windy City being brought to you by Goodyear.
John Stockton does so many things to help his team. They go unnoticed, unrecognized in the stat sheet. Here he's going to come down when Luke Longley tries to make a play at the hoop and confuse Luke to throw it into the backcourt, causing the violation there. And then fighting through a pick, playing a little bit of pinball with Steve Kerr, bumping him off his footsteps, his rhythm, and then Bushler comes back and says, quit picking on my guy. Stockton takes the hard forearm. And then Jim Gray reports from the Utah huddle that Sloan uncharacteristically in Stockton's face saying, push the ball, don't slow down, because normally Jerry does not say a word to Stockton or Karl Malone.
Chicago's triangle defense has been absolutely ugly, mainly because Utah's defense has been so aggressive. Chicago has to go to their spread the floor, get some driving lanes, get some good passing lanes.
The Bulls have gone over 6 minutes without a field goal, trailing 26-18. We are early in the second quarter. 2.5 minutes have gone by. Ryan Williams working his way on Antoine Carr. And it's all Jazz to the board.
That triangle offense just turns into one-on-one basketball. Very difficult to execute in playoff basketball.
Fusion on the state of the Jazz. Stockton settles him down, calls for his pick.
Finds the open Foster. Oh, way off.
Watch your face.
And Scottie Pippen.
Oh, terrific job by Brian Williams, who fumbled that rebound, but out of the corner of his eye, knew that Scottie Pippen released on the play, able to recover and threw the ideal pass.
6 minutes and 52 seconds between field goals. Now trailing by 6. Kukoc went for the steal. He gambled, but could not come up with it. And Shandon Anderson has been a presence off the bench. He now has 5 points. The Jazz are up by 8.
But a little bit of tentative play by the reserves for Utah. Uncharacteristic, because they have been strong throughout the playoffs.
Michael Jordan adjusting the shot, and he drew the foul.
Well, a wild shot by Greg Foster, and just a good job by Brian Williams to follow that. Usually they're tough to catch. They usually hit you in the head. And a smart play by Pippen just to keep on going as Brian Williams gathered himself to make the play.
But isn't that why you coach them? To keep their hands above their shoulders, to anticipate the ball coming off wildly.
Foul was called on Anderson, putting Jordan at the line. A reminder, NBC Sports will continue its coverage of the 97th U.S. Open. That's tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, right here on NBC. British Open champ Tom Lehman moving into a 1-stroke lead, 4 strokes behind Tiger Woods, who has played his way back into contention with a round of 67 earlier today. Our coverage continues tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 in the West, right here on NBC. And the foul is called on Pippen for Scottie Pippen, his first.
That was terrific execution by the Jazz. Shandon Anderson setting the hard pick on Brian Williams to get Karl Malone positioned in the paint. And when Karl Malone gets it like that and the pass is delivered, first of all, he should have made the shot, although Scottie Pippen came over to mess it up.
But Matt, the game is getting a lot more physical the last couple of times down. Karl Malone working his way into the paint. You see in the 2 wins, great conversion percentage. In the 3 losses, horrible on the jumper. 9 for 35. That will not get it done. The shot's not falling. Get back to the basket.
And Malone is just 2 of 5 at the line and missing badly. Utah 28, Chicago 22. Both clubs struggling in this first half. Here's Steve Kerr. Ryan Williams lost it. Morris has a 3-on-2. Stockton finding Anderson. Malone.